sir.
Good day.
How are you doing?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's going amazing?
I didn't die in my sleep. Woke up.
That's a good day. That's a
Yeah.
good day.
Best way to start the day is not dead.
Hey, I like how you don't have high expectations. It just makes the day go by way better.
Like, honestly, I could step over the bar that I set for them. But just, yeah, and just keep going with my day. That's kind of how it goes.
And then I guess, yeah, maybe grab another box. Whereas I'm like, oh my gosh, today we're gonna go skydiving. Actually, we're gonna heli ski. We'll skydive with skis on our feet, and then we'll go skiing, and then at the bottom we'll trek over to the golf course, and then we'll have a round of golf, and then maybe have a sunset surfing session.
So I was with you until you actively thought of golfing because I've golfed with you and it might have been the single worst experience of your life and not something I think you would want to do again.
I'm great with 9 holes. I like golfing.
Mm.
It's not my favorite. I would rather ski. I would rather ski.
Yeah.
I'd rather surf. I'd rather
So you're
do.
telling me if I started doing a weekly 9 hole with you, you're down.
No.
Okay, see, so you're not down.
Okay, scratch the golf from that whole thing.
So
I'll do the hike. I'll do the hike.
walk through a pleasant field, let's call it, because that's essentially what you'd be doing in golf, and then watch the sunset. Is that what you're saying?
I don't mind golf. I'll putt. I'll do the putting. Just my back hurts. The swing hurts my back so much.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm a great putter.
Sounds like a euphemism for something, but I don't know what. So you're telling me you would not participate in a longest drive competition? You're not one of those people?
Definitely not.
How far do you think those guys can actually hit the ball?
500 feet?
Yeah, some of them push 500.
Yeah.
Some of the big ones are like four. I saw a guy that was disappointed that he only hit 440, which is insanely long.
You're surprised that I could pull a number like that.
No, no, 500. I mean, that was, again, going back to my earlier comment, pretty low bar to set. You weren't going to say 1,000. You weren't going to say 100. So you're going to pick split the difference. 500 is where you're going to land.
Well, I know like we go to the driving range and most of the time it's like 250, 300.
Correct.
So I have a gauge. So someone better than that would probably do 400 or 500.
You're bang on.
There you go. See?
See a future in commentating for you with insights like that.
So we saw the new Spider-Man movie at the time of this.
We sure did.
How did you like it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I still prefer the one with the other Spider-Mans, but
You don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
no. I liked the one where the other two come. Like, I can't remember what it is.
No Way Home.
That's the one. That's the one. That's my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah.
Only because of the other Spider-Mans. The rest of the story is meh.
Yeah. It is pretty cool watching them. Especially when, what's his name?
Peter Parker.
Spider-Man 3. Not Tobey Maguire.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. It's just like full of self-doubt and they're trying to like encourage him. Like, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Yeah. It was funny.
That's good.
I only know this because I actually just watched that to prepare myself so it's not like I'm a Spider-Man know-all.
A lot of MCU the past few days.
I have, watched Endgame.
Yeah.
Figured out why there was a 5-year gap.
Yeah, we don't need to discuss that again. I don't ever need to sit through that conversation between you and Maya again. Ever. And I've sat through it 3 times now, so I think I'm good.
Yeah. But I understand now. Anyway, that's that. Tom Holland is not a little kid anymore.
No, he's married and moving on with his life.
Yeah, that was kind of weird for me to see that he's... Okay, so I do have one blip thing. So Spider-Man...
I'm pretty sure I just said I didn't want to have this conversation.
But just one thing.
All right.
Because he's in high school when he becomes Spider-Man, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then the blip happens, which is a 5-year vanishing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and all of a sudden is still in high school with all of his friends. Unless high school was like grade 7.
I have no idea how to answer that.
Yeah. Huh. I poked a hole in it.
No, there's an answer. I'm not one of those guys that analyzes movies. Like people that are like, oh, wow, the model number on this and blah, 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 corresponds to... That's not me. I don't care. I just kind of let it happen. Again, low bar. Like that's kind of the approach to everything. I don't need it to be anything more than what's on the screen. I don't need to know the inside stuff.
All right. Cool, man. Well, should we get on?
What's on deck for today?
Okay, so for today, I thought it might be interesting to first talk about how the brain is different. Have we talked about this before? Because now I'm like, maybe we've talked about this before. I don't know. How the brain's different between people who are single and people who are parents.
Oh, okay. In what way?
And then get into some strategies around that. So gray matter is kind of what we think of like intelligence. Do you think it increases or decreases in parents once you have parents?
Decrease.
It does. It does decrease. You're
One,
right.
like, I don't even, that's scientifically backed because that's exactly what my gut tells me.
Yeah. So we lose gray matter, but it's not actually intelligence that we're losing. That's always just what I would equate it to, but we're not. It's just our brain is sort of reorganizing itself so that we're more in tune with our kids' cues, like babies' cries and stuff like that.
Well, because you got to think every aspect of your life post having a child is about managing multiple lives and the details within. So the ability for you to solely focus on your own stuff, so let's call it the intelligence piece of a single person, absolutely diminishes because all that brain power has to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like where do they put their mittens? Where do I do this? How do do they have enough of this? Da, da, da.
Well, it's not like to that level, but it just, yeah, the brain's reorganizing itself. So it's more efficient to read what the baby needs
Yeah.
in the moment, for sure, and managing empathy. Okay. So there's growth in other areas. One is the hippocampus. So that's our memory store, which is weird to me. I would have thought that that would have decreased, but that the regions that increase, it's to help with parent-child bonding again. So everything is around that and lower stress, which is also really funny
Mhm.
because you would think that it's not.
So without that though, do you interpret that as you would be more stressed if your hippocampus didn't change? So more stressed than what you actually are, which is near max stress level as a parent?
I know.
That seems
It
ridiculous.
does seem. There's stronger reward responses. So it becomes more active when parents see or hear their own child. And it just is a drive to protect, to comfort, and to care for the baby, essentially, is what it is. So it's just increasing that drive to care for this being, which is important because, other animals, they give their baby a day and be like, Kate, you're on your own, kid. We've got our kids for like 18 to, well, apparently 35 years. It better be a big reward
That's a
circuit.
long time.
Why'd you close your eyes like that?
Because I was just doing the math on what that actually means for empty nesting. No bueno. 35 is no bueno.
Yeah. Well, our eldest is leaving in a month
That's true.
at 19
That is true.
for a year.
He's had enough of us.
Yeah, she'll be gone for a year.
She's hitting the road.
Do you think she'll come back?
Mm, no, I think if she can manage the financial components, right? Like actually get into a, no, I don't see a reason why she'd come back.
I think she'd come back for her last year. I know she's already made plans beyond that first year, so their lease is for sure only a year. They have to be out in a year. And she's already made plans with other people because two of them will be graduating.
Right.
So the rest of them, they already talked about getting a smaller place for the three of them. But I don't know. I think maybe her last year she'll come back to save for grad school and then go away for grad school. And then I think that'll
And
be
then
it.
we'll never see her again, is what you're saying?
Unless we follow her.
Unless we, I like how you're phrasing that now like it's an option. Like when you've stated on previous podcasts that you're just going to go the closest to wherever the two of them are.
Well, once they have babies, when there's grandbabies, I'm following grandbabies.
What happens if they don't have any?
They're having grandbabies.
Oh, what part of the brain matter is this coming from?
I was looking at it the other day. When was it? Oh, at the zoo. I went to the zoo yesterday and I was just looking at all the grandparents with their grandkids. I'm like, oh. But what's really funny though is there was a lot of parents my age with little young kids.
These poor buggers.
And I was not like, oh, look at those parents. No, I was looking at the grandparents.
That's a very interesting, distinct shift in how you want to have kids. That's good. That's perfect. Someone
Totally.
else's problem, totally fine.
Yeah. there was a grandpa. He was a bright pink shirt saying "World's Best Grandpa," and he was a fit guy. Like he was like bulked,
Yeah.
like pulling along this wagon. Yeah,
Got to live up to the shirt.
yeah, that's good. Okay, so there's our hormones and emotional responses change.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think, yeah. I don't know that much. I can't speak for myself, but yeah, all kidding aside, I think you do become more emotional. I always racked it less about,
You as in parents or me specifically?
yep. So I think I always racked it up as not hormonal, but just an offshoot of both the stress and tiredness that is associated with having kids.
Am I more emotional than I was before kids?
Can we stay on point here? Yeah, you're more emotional than when we had kids. Dude, you were emotional from the second you got pregnant with kids. Lest we recall once again, so you think you can dance things.
I don't remember.
You used to burst into tears watching So You Think You Can Dance while you were pregnant.
Oh,
Like,
really?
burst into tears. Like, it wasn't just, hey, are you okay? It was a, and you couldn't explain it. And it was like a break dancing. So it was like so not emotional. But yeah, you got into your feels pretty quick.
Are you more emotional since having kids?
No, no. I think about certain things I am, but I don't know that I'm more emotional. No.
What about angry? Are you more angry? Let's talk about the rims. Should we talk about the car rims?
Oh, why? Like every episode, you're bringing up something that makes me upset, and you're painting a really bad public image of me as this like constantly angry person. No, it just I've hit a point in my life where it would be nice to have something nice. Not extravagantly nice, just nice. So it's really disheartening when you're progressing in that way that there are forces actively out to counter those efforts. And that's what got me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you are a bit of a, is car snob the right word? You like your cars.
I do like my cars. What I like about cars is being able to improve upon them or do things that I enjoy about that car. Like I love the car we have because it's sort of practical. It's not really practical with the dogs, but it's nice and it's enjoyable. I mean, you can do little things to make it more comfortable without it being crazy. And the rims were probably one of the more
Extravagant things.
extravagant things. Like I normally would never do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting really nice rims for this car because I wanted to go this direction. And they didn't last 2 months
Mhm.
before someone decided to challenge a curb with a rim fight and just wrecked it. Like wrecked it. So yeah, I was not in a good space. I would say I was definitely emotional, hormonally or not. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I was angry. Like,
But she doesn't know that you're angry.
no, she doesn't. And part of that though is because in my in my experience over the past few years has taught me it doesn't matter. There's little that will change based on me being upset about it, other than I'm just upset,
Yeah.
right? And part of it is because I know you guys are deliberately doing it, but you also can't process why I'm pissed about it, even if I explained it to you. If I came to you and say it was you that did the rim, and I'm like, what happened to the rim? And you noticed I was getting angry about it.
And I'd be like, rim of what?
Exactly.
Like,
And I would be like,
is
and
it
that
roll
would
up?
immediately,
Is it
that,
roll up the rim?
that
Did
would
you win?
immediately set me off. And I'd be like, what the F do you mean, what rim? What car did you drive yesterday? What?
A car
What are
rim?
you talking about?
Are you talking about
Like you would just go off on a tangent. So if I got to the point where you guys understood what was happening, you still wouldn't understand why it was upsetting to me to be able to resolve it in a way that I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. I got through and we're good. So
Well, for this one, it's like pretty logical consequences. She pays for it, but I know she's a struggling student who
that's
is moving
exactly it. What
out.
am I going
Yeah,
to do? Am I
yeah,
going to take away a month's rent to fix this?
yeah.
Probably not.
Tripping.
So yeah, I think back to the original question. No, I think in some ways I'm probably more emotional, but I'm not an overly emotional person
No.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not great at that. So yeah, I don't think I am.
Anymore. Were you ever
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. When I was younger, I was
like 10?
no, probably up into my teens, like almost till I was 20. I was way more expressive and way more, yeah, way more expressive and way more kind of emotionally fluctuating, but that went away.
With parenting?
No, I don't think it was parent. No, yeah, my kids. No, I mean, as funny as it would be to do it as a joke, no, it wasn't parenting. It was just everything, right? Like we've talked about it. Like the biggest change for me was when Dad died,
Yeah.
right? Like that was there is a BC and an AD, right?
Yeah.
Which came with that, and then just everything else, right? Like there's a lot of, and I try not to do this with the girls because I don't want the girls to ever feel this, but there's more times than I can recall where I did express something and it was never received as that. And I was told not to do it that way. Like, dude, calm down. I'm like, I'm not upset. Right. So over the years, I've just learned to flatline. Right. Which is funny now because the feedback I get from people is that it's intimidating because I'm so stoic. I don't express anything. So people really find it disconcerting. Like at work, especially, I've had this feedback a lot where people are like, you're so calm. I'm like, yeah, okay. They're like, but you never seem to get upset. And I'm like, no, there's no point. Me getting upset has a completely different effect than someone else across the table getting upset. Me getting upset, people immediately go into flight mode. Like they're scared. So it doesn't accomplish anything. But I found that that has seeped into all
Everyone.
aspects. Yeah.
So one is oxytocin, which is obviously for connection, so we don't eat our babies like other animals do.
Yeah.
The other is amygdala, just for noticing possible danger.
Isn't that that actor that you like?
Peter Petrelli.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know. What's his name?
Peter Petrelli. We'll just keep it at that, I guess. I don't
Is it
know.
the Miglia?
Sure. Yeah, I always say Milo amygdala.
It's way off. Continue.
So it becomes just to be responsive of any infant distress. So we're alert and ready to act. I think sometimes parents take that over the top, and we've talked a lot about that, just being hyper vigilant and
Yeah.
helicopter parenting, and it can become a problem that way.
Okay, so legit question about that. We've joked around before about how you weren't that when the kids were little, right? Like
Yeah,
you were the if they're dead, they're dead.
they're dead. Like, may as well get more sleep.
Yeah, so that apparently is not normal.
Oh, well, I was going to get
Oh,
into
sorry.
like men's and females, women's like mom and
Yeah.
dad's brain differences in a second. I would say though, in my experience, it usually is the mother who is more
Yeah,
overprotective than dads,
I'd
but
agree.
but not necessarily all. But even in our friend group, like we've got one friend that I would say like kid is attached overly
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
dad, and dad is way more.
Yeah, I would say that this is an interesting topic that we could probably talk about for a while. But you're right. I don't know. I think initially I would say, yeah, typically it's the mom, but over time, as the kid is going out and about into the world with parents more, I think it's the dad,
Hmm.
right? But I think that's later. Like I think that's later.
Right.
Right.
Oh, like with dating and stuff.
Even pre that, yeah, like fights or how they interact with kids on other sports teams, or like I think the mom is always kind of like that, but I think that sense I see growing in the dad over time, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
that would be a good one. I think that'll take us off where I'm going
Yeah,
with,
yeah, we
but
don't
I
need to go
think
there
it would be
today.
a good one. But even looking at my dad, like his
Oh,
grandparents, he is, don't put her in a swing. Not on my watch. You can't put her in a baby swing.
yeah, yeah.
Mom's like, let her swing. And I'm like, let me see how high she can get without falling out.
That's 100% accurate. Yeah. Yeah, we can come back to that some
Yeah.
other time, but
Yeah. I do think with dating, you're like, I don't know if I'm okay with this.
yeah.
Just the age difference, but we'll come back. So, yeah, it changes. And when I talk about these changes in the brain, it's not just birth parents, it's also adopted like parents who adopt
Oh, yeah.
children as well. And other primary caregivers, they can, if they're spending a lot of time nurturing a child, they do see those differences. So we definitely see. So the more involved a caregiver is, the more their brain is going to sort of reorganize. So with mom and dad's brains, mother's brains, obviously lots of hormonal change just through pregnancy,
Hmm.
right? Like through
Yeah.
pregnancy and birth and all of that already is like, well, you even said from the time I was pregnant. And then breastfeeding. Dad's brain, it's more about the hands-on and the amount of time he spends with the baby. So we see changes, but how it's happening is a little bit different. So with moms, increase oxytocin,
Mhm.
prolactin. So supporting, I mean, some of it's just milk production, right? Just being sensitive to baby's needs that way. But for mothers, they usually have more, like when we look structurally, the outer area of the brain, we definitely see some more differences just to support planning and thinking, as well as areas like for emotion and survival.
So just so I understand, the brain rewires
Organizes.
itself,
Yeah.
reorganizes sort of thing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
actually physically alters itself.
Structurally, yeah. Structurally, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. For dads, it's a little bit more subtle. So understanding other people, planning and solving problems, it becomes stronger like the more active dads come in
In the rearing.
caregiving. Yeah.
So is that so? Okay, so that comes to a question that I was going to bring up. Is the assumption then is that that is in large part related to the change in the expectations and the amount of, I guess, involvement dads have in rearing kids now. Like if you look at kids in the 40s or dads in the 40s and 50s, completely different. So
I bet. Yeah.
conceivably, you wouldn't necessarily see the same changes in that generation as you're seeing in subsequent generations, and probably even more so generations younger than us,
Oh, yeah.
like ones that are in the age 20 and up are probably even more so because they're much more heavily involved, right?
Yeah. And I see dads like carrying babies around more,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Like in snugglies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, well, and like even just being able to nurse, like they've got those man boobs to be able to nurse. I think that's a little bit,
Like fake boobs with breast milk in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one.
So, some people, so the different brain networks, emotional caregiving network, obviously birth mothers
Mhm.
have stronger emotional and threat detection areas. And that's like the amygdala that I already talked about, just so that they can
Yeah.
respond quickly to their baby's distress. For dads, it's networks more in reading social cues, being able to take other people's perspectives, those types of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're not fixed or anything because, when dads, if they become the primary caregiver, and we are seeing a lot
Mhm.
more of that, their emotional caregiving network would be stronger. So it really does depend on how much of a caregiving role that each are taking. So it's not necessarily just female, male. It's more about your daily experience as a parent
Right.
in terms of that. So yeah, essentially, with moms, with the hormones, it is just the emotional thinking. And with dads, it's more like more hands-on. They're going to have more social understanding and caregiving. So we see all of those things. Fathers might experience lower testosterone. So there's a little bit of that. I won't get too much into that. What I wanted to get to was like maybe some things that parents might feel like they're struggling with and some strategies around that. But
Okay.
like baby brain is a big one.
Well, I was gonna say, like, is it baby brain or pregnancy brain? Is it the same thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So forgetting, like
So the
having
fogginess, right?
fogginess, having a hard time thinking of words,
Yeah.
which I do all the time, losing their
Are
train
you
of
pregnant?
thought. Well, it's just old age at
Oh,
this point.
okay.
Forgetting where they put their phone. That's
Again, again, that's two in the column.
walking into a room, forgetting why they're there,
Six
right?
to three.
So it's not any damage to the brain. It's when we look, looking at intelligence. Intelligence doesn't change once you become. So if we're looking at parents and non-parents, that doesn't change. It's just how much mental and physical effort we're putting in to raising kids. That's kind of the
So
big
it's
thing.
it's the available processing power based on how much you're devoting to the kids.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, like we already talked about like the way the brain's reorganizing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So more to the caregiving and social understanding, but the working memory is overloaded. So that's your short-term mental. So essentially, like the example that I give with working memory is if you tell me your phone number, I have to remember it long enough to go and put it into my phone to save it,
Right.
for example. So, you think of everything that new parents have to keep track of, like diapers, just to get out of that house. I need a onesie, I need a diaper, I need a bottle, I need,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what's their schedule of like all of those supplies, where are we going, and they have to check the safety and all of that kind of thing. So it gets overloaded. So everything else just like where did I put my keys? I mean, it's just not as important, right? Like it just kind of it's like having a tiny little workspace. You're trying to bake with a tiny little counter and you've got a million ingredients and they start falling off. That's
Yeah.
kind of what
Yep.
ends up happening. The other thing is sleep loss, right? When parents aren't sleeping great, it makes it harder to focus and to think quickly and to do all the things, hold information. So, those are all things. And then again, all of our attention's on the baby, so we're not here in the present. Like you're not thinking about where you put your keys because you've
Yeah.
got a screaming kid that you're trying to get in the door with poop like
Yeah.
exploded
Yeah.
everywhere. So, like those kinds of things I think make and then we get caught like if you're not in the newborn phase, we just get caught in the overload because it doesn't really go away. Hey, do you have your skates? Do you have your backpack? Did you bring that permission slip? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, did we pack your lunch already? Did you take your medication? Did you brush your teeth? Like we get overloaded.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we could look at just some strategies, the cognitive overload of strategies, because I think that's where we get stressed out. We start spiraling, trying to remember everything.
I would say for us, the biggest thing, and I don't know if you just want me to dive in or how you want to do this, but the biggest thing that changed for us that made it simpler was the calendar.
Yeah.
As soon as we had a physical central repository of what was going on when, it removed a layer of that having to remember stuff. So then I think from there, it reduced it down to what do we need as we're going out the door, as opposed to what are we forgetting and what is coming up and what's happening. You just knew, okay, today we got a practice here, we got a game here, and then so and so is coming over for dinner. Okay. Then you can just do a bit of an inventory. For most of it, it should just be fairly quick if you're planning ahead. But I think that's the other thing is you got to plan ahead. Like that's a huge thing.
And having a structure, like having some infrastructure around everything is going to be really important because we do try remembering and our brain is not meant to hold information.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's meant to daydream and problem solve and think creatively and, like we stress ourselves out by trying to keep everything in our head. And even if we're like, okay, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that and then I'm going to do that, or we think that we're trying to problem solve and we think we're being productive, but we're just spinning our
Yeah.
wheels. And so we really need to externalize it and kind of have those infrastructures in place. So it's building that external brain. But even things like I like talking about having a launch pad area. So the launch pad area maybe you might have a couple. One might be for going to work or going to school.
Right.
What's your launch pad? So probably car keys, maybe your phone. For kids, it would be their backpack and their agenda. There's one place where that stays all of the time.
Yeah.
So then you just come to your launch pad and just everything's already there and you kind of go. So I think that that's important. But yeah, so for remembering things, yeah, write it down. I like the post-it note system.
Hmm.
I've got these 5 things rather than a to-do list, these 5 things, and then I put it right on my calendar. So then I know, and then I
Yeah.
can move the post-its around or having a calendar. Okay. And we do.
We
I
do.
know,
We
I know
still do.
exactly where Willow's going to be. I
Yep.
know where Maya's going to be. You guys know where I'm going to be. So having that can be really important. So that's part of building an external brain. And I think too on that, having pictures, because we'll tell kids, Kate, do you got everything for school? Yep, yep, yep. And I know I've given this example with the girls for ringette. Kate, go check your gear, make sure you've got all your gear. And I'll see them. They go over and they open up their bag and they're looking and they're like, yeah, I got everything. But then you get to the rink and they're missing their skates.
Yeah.
Like that's the number one piece of equipment. You can't borrow anything. Like it's because their eyes are just glossing over it. So having a visual, almost like a little photo album
Yeah.
where they can take a picture of everything that they need to have in their backpack or in their hockey bag or whatever it is that they need. Yeah, I got my agenda and they have it all laid out in this picture so they can one to one see it because to create it in their own head can be hard. And then same for us. Lay out everything that you need to bring for the day trip or for work or
Yeah.
whatever and lay it out. And so you've got that picture. Take a picture of it and then take that.
And I would also say for certain activities, you can create a list of what you need to bring and then save that list somewhere. So you're not having to rebuild it every time you're going to take the kid to the beach or you're going to take the kid on a, like
Yeah.
if there's certain activities you're doing, especially when the kids are little and they require like the go bag and the treats and the da da da, just map it out, right? And then put it in the pantry or put it in the whatever. And then okay, beach day, it's here we go. And you can just take off. And that makes it a lot easier because that was the thing that always killed me is we would kind of collect everything as we went, as we're heading out the door, and we inevitably missed something that was probably necessary. And it would the next time we did a similar activity, it would be something different that we missed because we made sure to remember the blanket, but we forgot, the bucket and shovels for the sand or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So again, just writing it down.
And the more you can automate things
Yeah.
too, automate an organization. Like I've got all of our backpacks that we could need in one bucket
Yeah.
and all of our outdoor, like our pickleball and the frisbee golf
Yep.
stuff,
All right.
all in one bucket. So like that kind of stuff, just so you're not searching, we waste time and cognitive effort and emotional, like the stress of everything. Just that alone can make
Yeah.
all the difference.
Yeah, totally.
Batching micro decisions because anytime we have to make a decision, this is why I just eat the same thing for breakfast and the same thing for lunch every single day. And usually, if I don't have to go to work, I'm wearing the exact same clothes every day because just making even those little decisions. And so now, as a parent, we're not just making our own decision. What am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to have? It's what are you also, what are you going to eat? What are you going to wear?
Yeah.
So we're making those decisions. And so that drains our ability to manage our emotions, to think, problem solve, to do all of those things. So again, yeah, what can you automate for sure? And what can you batch? So maybe like Sunday meal planning
Yeah.
and making I mean, those things I think we know, but even just buy the same pair of socks or buy the exact same socks, not different colors, like plain white socks. Then you're not wasting time even just trying to match socks. I can't tell you how many Sundays
Yep.
I would go like an hour or two just trying to match all the stupid socks.
Yeah, because you bought them on based on cuteness, not based on practicality.
Yeah.
You're trying to find that one pink ruffle sock that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So batching, like those kind of things can be really important. One in, one out. So when your working memory is overloaded, we try to multitask. We're doing this and we're doing that, and like, oh, go do this and oh, go do that. And now we forgot what we're doing right in front of us. So just one loop. Okay, kid, I'm just cleaning up breakfast. Let me clean up breakfast and then I'll come talk to you.
Yeah.
Versus trying, and I do that all the time, right? Like with cooking,
Oh,
I'm so bad because
yeah.
I'll put something in the oven, but then I'm going to go clean up the kitchen a little bit. And then, oh yeah, I got to make the salad. And then all of a sudden I burned whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so just one in, one out.
Yeah.
Do your one job. And that's
then
going to bring mindfulness. Yeah, that's going to be helpful. Dictate, have a voice assistant, hands-free voice commands like Google, right? Or Siri or whatever, Alexa, I don't know. Just so that you can kind of take that stuff away can be really helpful.
Yeah, I've started using voice stuff a lot more now because it is way easier than having to type it out. And it is more stream of consciousness. So you just gotta
Yeah.
be careful of that.
The only other thing is self-care. I actually just did a multi-part self-care series in my other podcast, so in Overpowering Emotions. So maybe go check that out. And I think that there's a little self-care guide. But just really quickly, sleep is so important. And one thing that you can do, I really love non-sleep deep rest. It just lowers the overall arousal, like stress arousal, and gives your body some of that sort of, it's almost like deep sleep. And you can do it for just 10 to 20 minutes or yoga nidra as well. Just, yeah, YouTube, yoga nidra or non-sleep deep rest. It's just like a little meditation. guided meditation that can be really helpful. It's not sitting there focusing on your breath, but it's just giving your body that rest. Like it really is restorative, same sort of restorative effects as deep sleep. I do love doing that. Microdose oxytocin. In our house, we always had the 6 Mississippi hugs, just hugging for like count for 6 Mississippis. If you've got a baby or like still they're snugglers, like just snuggle with your kids or your dog or your partner, whoever. But even petting your dog can release some of that oxytocin. So just taking like a 30-second break throughout the day to have some oxytocin. Can you let things sit? Are there non-urgent things that you can just cut off or put out later? I
Yeah, the
think
prioritization of things. Not everything is urgent, and you fall into a trap of thinking it is,
yeah.
right? And yeah, there is the if it takes less than 2 minutes rule, just get it done. But sometimes it's if it takes less than 2 minutes, it has to be done right now, get it done. Otherwise, the 2 minutes will still be there later,
Yeah.
right?
The only other thing is just to give yourself a break. So if you do find your car keys in the cheese drawer of the fridge,
Or in the backs of the Ute or the UTV, missing for months.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I thought for sure those were gone. I find it's your brain pruning some areas. It's cutting away some areas so it can focus on right now the most important thing in your life, which
yeah,
is your child. But I would say the more important thing is you and your own self-care and ability to take care of said child.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just part like our brain is meant to help us survive. And right now we're surviving these years of parenting. And so some things do sort of take the back seat. But I don't know. I thought that would be
Yeah, those are all good.
kind of interesting to chat about.
I think it all comes down to, I mean, the starting point for all of it is the self-care piece and the rest piece. Without any of that, and it's hard, especially in the first few years, but you have to find ways to actually build out the rest routine for you and your kid to give yourself the best shot. Like, and that was one thing we've talked about before, but just the rigidity of sleep schedule for the baby when they were little, and then mirroring it as much as you can to make sure that you're rested.
Yeah.
That everything else falls apart if those two aren't taken care of.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool
Nailed it.
beans.
Just nailed it.
Take care.